Are you a hunter or a gatherer? This spring, as you shop for your wardrobe, will you be hunting diligently for the specific things that you have researched and decided you want to add to your closet? Or will you be gathering, browsing the stores and the retail websites, picking up the things that strike your fancy at the moment? Well, whether you hunt or gather, I definitely recommend you get these 5 essentials for your spring wardrobe. Welcome to today's video. My name is Kay and this is Dress for My Day. I show up here every Wednesday, except for last Wednesday, to share fashion tips, style tips, and what's new in fashions with mostly women over 50. Now, last week I did take the week off unexpectedly. My husband got quite ill and we needed to take a week off from recording, but I am so glad to be back with you today. I do have 5 wardrobe essentials that I highly recommend that you add to your closet this spring, and they're not quite what you think. So let's talk briefly about that hunting and gathering thing. Yeah, they say that we really fall into one of 2 categories when it comes to shopping. We either predominantly hunt, and that means we do a little research, we decide exactly what we're looking for, and then we diligently hunt for that thing, browsing different websites, different stores, but not settling for just anything, only the piece that we really have in our mind. We want the best. On the other hand, some of us are gatherers. That means that we kind of shop along as we browse, as we look around, and we see things that strike our fancy, then we add those to our wardrobe. Now, either way, though, I do recommend that you have a little bit of strategy as you're building your spring wardrobe. And 2 weeks ago, I did share a 5-step strategy for planning your spring wardrobe. In my estimation, February is a perfect time to plan your spring wardrobe. This is about the time that most of the brands and retailers will start rolling out their spring line. But as you begin to see all the pretty things and the bright colors and the softer, lighter fabrics, don't be wooed in too quickly. Instead, plan your wardrobe strategically. So check out that video if you have not seen it. I will definitely link it below, along with any items that are available that I can give you shopping links for, of course. And I've also got the video linked right up here. By the way, speaking of those links, as I share some things with you today, I am sharing some YouTube links. They're right over here, and you can easily shop those. If they get in your way, though, you can click on those little dots. I think there's like 3 little dots in the corner. Click on that, and you can move that little box right on out of your way. You don't even have to see it, but that is a great way to shop the pieces that I'm showing. Now, let's talk about those 5 essentials you do need for your spring wardrobe. And I say this with confidence, no matter who you are or what your style is, and here's why. I think most all of us, especially if you're here today, you do want to elevate your style a little bit. That's why you've come to this video, because you want to put together outfits that look a little stylish, that make you look your best and help you have confidence as you step out. If you want that kind of confidence and that kind of polish, what I suggest adding to your spring wardrobe are elevated basics. So what are elevated basics? We've talked about those before. They are just those basic pieces that are in your wardrobe. We're not talking about a new thing, just the basic pieces that are in your wardrobe, but a little bit more polished, elevated. They have something special about them that raises the bar of the rest of your outfit. The beauty of these elevated basics is that you can weave them into your outfits. No matter if you're wearing a t-shirt and jeans or you're wearing a pair of shorts later in the summer, you weave these elevated basics into those even casual outfits and you'll look just a little extra, a little more refined, polished, maybe even elegant if you so desire. Depending on your personal style and your lifestyle, your specific elevated basics may indeed differ from the ones that I'm mentioning today. But if I do mention a category today that you think, that's just not me, then I encourage you to consider a different category in your wardrobe where you may need to make sure that you have 1 or 2 elevated pieces that will automatically raise the level of any outfit that you pair them with. The first elevated basic that I definitely suggest we have in our wardrobe for spring is a pair of elevated basic blue jeans. Yeah, blue jeans are just one of those things where probably if you have a casual lifestyle, going to lean into this spring. And as the warm weather comes, we might want to raise that hemline to an ankle jean. Whether you are buying a pair of full-length jeans or ankle-length jeans, you can elevate them with one of two components. First of all, your jeans will look a little bit more elevated if they are in a dark wash. A dark wash just always looks a little bit more refined and polished. So you could probably even wear a pair of dark wash jeans on a casual Friday at your workplace. Or if the atmosphere is always casual at your workplace, this dark wash jean is definitely going to make you look office ready when you pair it with other more casual things in your wardrobe. Today I'm wearing a pair of ankle length wide leg dark wash jeans. These are from Paige. They are one of my favorite premium denim brands. They fit like a glove, just so beautifully. They're a high waist. I absolutely love these jeans, whether they're in a full length or an ankle length, but this dark wash definitely elevates my look. Now this is a premium denim jean, so they are a little pricey. You can sometimes find them on sale though, and if I do find them somewhere on sale, I'll certainly list that below, but I'll also give you a more economical option below too in a nice dark wash jean. A second way to elevate your blue jeans this spring though is to get them in a classic silhouette. So you could go with a nice slim wide leg jean. You don't want too wide like these Paige ankle jeans are, or you could go a straight leg jean. My new favorite straight leg jeans are these from Air. They're a full length straight leg jean, just that classic straight leg. Now a couple of other factors that do play into this particular jean being an elevated basic is that these jeans do not have distressing or holes, of course, and they have minimal and strategic fading and whiskering. So whiskering and fading is just to be expected on jeans these days, other than those true dark wash jeans. But you want to look for some that is done really tastefully, almost elegantly. And these by Air, they just really check all the boxes. They are a true classic straight leg, which of course is just going to stay in style much longer. They really are a timeless silhouette. By the way, when we talk about elevated basics, we're not just talking about classic pieces that supposedly never go out of style. Because the truth is, eventually almost everything looks a little dated. But there are some things that are a little bit more timeless in nature than others. And a straight leg jean like this one with a nice high rise, a finished hemline, minimal whiskering, and intentional fading in a nice mid-wash is definitely an elevated basic in my book. I will certainly link these below, as well as a couple of other more mid-price options. Let's move on to the second category that I think is really smart to have an elevated basic in. This one may or may not be on your list, but I love an elevated basic button-up shirt. So we can go two different routes on this. If you love to wear button-up shirts as much as I do, I know I sometimes fall into the habit of wearing mostly prints and stripes in my button-up shirts. They're still going to look fairly elevated because of that collar and that button placket. There's just something about a button-up shirt that definitely is going to raise the level of your outfit. I guess it's the structure, but especially when you wear a crisp white button-up shirt like this one I'm wearing today from Citizens of Humanity. Again, this one's a little pricey, I just hate to tell you, but it has some features that make it valuable in my closet. First of all, it is that crisp white fabric. Just feels so good, so soft. It gets a lot of wear. It also looks a little fuller because it has a relaxed fit, which is something I definitely appreciate. The collar is crisp, so it'll pop up in the back. I didn't do it today because being on camera, I didn't want to fool with that, but it pops up really nicely, as you can see me showing here. And then finally, it features buttons up the side of the sleeves so that I can easily roll up my sleeves, button them into place, and not worry about them rest of the day. So when we're talking elevated basics, you don't have to wear them all stiff and formal to make it look elevated. You can still go ahead and style it casually, use some of those style hacks that you enjoy. The beauty of an elevated basic is that it speaks for itself. It doesn't need a lot of bells and whistles, and it doesn't have to be pristine. It just has to be a little special. Often when we talk about elevated basics, we're talking about the fabric. It's usually out of a natural fiber fabric or a beautiful weave. So another way to do an elevated basic button-up shirt is to go with a silk blouse. So every time you wear a silk blouse, it's just automatically going to raise the level of your outfit immediately. This beautiful silk blouse is from Vince. They do come in a couple of other really pretty colors too. The green is striking, but it comes in a pretty blue and a soft, soft aqua color as well. But silk, one of those natural fiber fabrics that has some breathability, that feels so nice on the skin, it's hypoallergenic in fact, it is just going to speak volumes, so you don't have to do a whole lot else to your outfit to make it look polished and help you step out in confidence. So adding a silk blouse can always be a smart way to go. I'll definitely link this one below and over here, but I might be able to find you a more reasonably priced option below too. That said, I don't mind investing a little bit more of my budget in my elevated basics because these are the pieces I'm going to wear over and over, weaving them into multiple types of outfits all spring and into the summer and fall. Let's move on to that next category. If you, like me, enjoy a fairly casual wardrobe for your casual lifestyle, I have a suggestion that might strike you as odd, and that is that we add an elevated basic to our casual pants or skirts. So how do you elevate these casual pieces? One way to elevate your casual pants, those that you wear as you're running errands or spending time with the grandkids, is to make sure that the fabric is polished. It just looks a little richer and extra. So even these Athleta leisure pants, these are their endless high-rise pants in the full-length flare leg. This beautiful rich chocolate brown in this beautifully woven, moisture wicking, rip resistant fabric just looks a little bit more special than your typical jogger, wouldn't you say? So even a very casual pant that you would wear to walk around the neighborhood or run errands absolutely can look elevated. I think these athleisure pants really check all the boxes and they're perfect for travel. You know, when we travel, we've kind of gotten into the rut of kind of going really casual, but I'm ready to up my game as I travel. What about you? One of the best ways to create a polished but wearable travel outfit is to lean into a pair of elevated pants like these. They are rip resistant, they are breathable, they are moisture wicking, they give you a lot of movability, and they have some beautiful functions like zipper pockets on the side. They have a wide waistband, which makes them very comfortable to walk, stand, and sit in. And they move with you and feel good all day long. So as you're shopping for your casual pants for your spring wardrobe, make sure you have at least one or two pair that look a little extra. I do have a skirt example too though, if you happen to be a person who likes to wear skirts more or you like to wear both. And that is my new High Hopes skirt from Air. Now this is not new to the brand, they've had it for a while. In fact, I think they've been carrying it for several years. That's how elevated this basic is. It is really popular and I'm wearing it in an elevated black. Yes, black will always elevate your outfits too. So this beautiful black ponte knit fabric has a lovely drape. I've kind of found that drape is one of the key components of an elevated basic also. This is a straight skirt with one slit there on the side. It hangs just beautifully. It's a nice dark fabric. It does come in some other colors, but boy, this is the color that I wanted to add to my wardrobe first to really raise the game of anything that I wear it with, no matter if it's a cotton sweater or a denim shirt or even a t-shirt later on. So two ways to elevate your casual bottoms, whether they're a pant or a skirt, is to wear a refined fabric and or a black or also a white. If you have a white skirt or pant that has that polished look to it, minimal detailing and just really beautiful, that is certainly going to elevate your look too. The fourth category that I think we all need to consider is a jacket. Spring is just the season of jackets, isn't it? We're all for that completer piece during the spring as the weather chills and it also becomes a little unpredictable during the day. Many of us lean into those jackets to complete our outfits or just to stand off the weather in the mornings or in the evenings. So there are two specific jackets that will always elevate your look during the spring. Maybe you already know what they are. They have some structure to them and they are indeed a little timeless. The first one is a trench coat. I love a trench coat during the spring. It does sometimes, depending on the coat that you choose, give you that weather ability. You can choose some that are wind resistant or rain resistant or even waterproof. You can also, of course, choose one with all the bells and the whistles, including a hood to help you weather the rain. But this particular trench coat does not have a hood. It does, however, have a lot of the components of a traditional trench coat. I recently wrote a blog post at my website about the trench coat and how it is indeed the iconic spring coat that we all need in our closet. It just truly elevates any look, whether it's a polished pair of pants, a dress, or even a pair of jeans or those athleisure pants. So wearing a trench coat like this, even with that more casual look, will make you look a little bit more confident and presentable. This particular trench coat that I've added to my closet is from Rails. I love that it features that contrasting fabric. It is 100% cotton and it is lined in cotton also. I do have a second trench coat that I wanted to show you though. Right now what's really trending with trench coats is kind of that boxier look, a more cropped length also, and really just kind of a free form instead of belting. So this particular coat from London Fog checks those boxes. It's a double-breasted coat in a little bit warmer khaki color. It is water resistant and I think it checks the boxes as well. Certainly going to add a little polish to my outfits. A second completer piece that we enjoy wearing during the spring that will absolutely elevate your looks is a blazer. I always count on a blazer to make my outfit look just a little bit more special and polished. It also gives me a sense of confidence. Now, during the summer especially, I love wearing linen blazers and they will be hitting the scene pretty soon. So you might want to start looking for a linen blazer to wear spring and into the summer. And if you choose your color carefully, you can even wear it into the fall. So a linen blazer is a great way to go. But here I'm showing you my Veronica Beard Miller Dickey jacket. Now, a blazer like this that is fitted, double-breasted, and has this beautiful hardware is absolutely going to elevate your looks. It is a pricey one though. So I'm also showing you a jacket that is very similar from Quince. Both of these jackets give you a lot of versatility. You can fasten Dickies in that will completely change your look. But the blazer, even just by itself, adds some polish and structure that will always make your look just a little bit more special, even if you're just wearing jeans and a t-shirt underneath. I'm going to link both of these blazers down below for sure, and I'll try to find you a couple of other ones that I would recommend. It does not have to be a blazer quite as polished as this one, or of course a linen blazer, but I do recommend that you choose one that doesn't have too many bells and whistles. It doesn't have a lot of extra going on. You want one with a classic silhouette that is streamlined, that is in a beautiful fabrication, whether it's a natural fiber or it's a woven fabric like the Veronica Beard and the Quince jacket. And a classic color, of course, like navy, black, white, or ecru are always going to elevate a little bit more than some other colors or a plaid. And the fifth elevated basic that I really do believe we all need to add to our wardrobe is a handbag. Now look, your handbag every day is either going to elevate your look or it's going to detract from it. So we want to make sure that all of our handbags are in good shape, that the stitching is still in order, that the fabric that it's made from still looks polished and pretty, not faded or worn. We want to make sure that the hardware is still in good shape and functional. But I especially recommend that you do have at least one, maybe two handbags in your wardrobe that you truly could wear with almost everything in your closet, and it would up the level of your outfit. In order to accomplish this, you want to choose a bag that has one or two, or maybe and two particular characteristics. First of all, a structured handbag with minimal but impactful hardware is always going to elevate your look. This bag that I'm showing here is from Michael Kors, but it's about 7 or 8 years old. I've had it in my wardrobe that long. It is truly classic, and because it has minimal hardware and no true bells or whistles, I really can continue to carry it with confidence. That structure and that polish elevates any look that I carry it with. Of course, that bag's not available now, but Michael Kors does have a good selection of similar structured bags. But I found you another place to look for beautiful structured bags too, and that is Parissa Wang. I recently received this beautiful East-West shoulder bag from Parissa Wang, and I am so impressed with this New York brand. Their bags are made out of beautiful leather or suede. The stitching is just lovely. The details are so nice. The lines are lean and simple and beautiful and elegant. And the interior is nice too, and the hardware is minimal but impactful. Another thing that makes this particular bag a classic, like the previous one I showed you, is that it is a classic silhouette. And that is the East-West silhouette. I don't know if you've heard of that before, but this is a bag that's been around for years, but this year in 2026, it is definitely having what we call a moment. So you'll see these kind of baguette shaped, or just, a wide bag, kind of tubular looking with the longer handles like this one. And that's what that is. It's an East-West bag. So just lovely. Again, it is that minimal, streamlined look though that helps this bag to fit our category of elevated basics. So carrying a bag like one of these two or something similar in a classic silhouette, minimal hardware, beautiful fabrication is definitely going to elevate your looks. And I encourage you to make sure you have one in your wardrobe, perhaps in a neutral that you love wearing and that you can pair with many things in your closet, and especially a good pair of shoes and a belt. And that brings me to our bonus, number 6, would be a belt. If you like wearing belts and you're willing to wear one, then definitely investing in a beautiful polished belt would be a great way to elevate your looks this spring. Belts are continuing to be so on trend, and adding that bit of hardware right there at the middle of your body and that bit of structure as you define your waist is definitely going to elevate your spring looks. I do suggest that you look at belts that are in a simple fabrication of leather or suede. They look lean and beautiful. I would go as thick as you can, but of course not too thick, not too wide. And you do want the hardware to be impactful, once again, but not overdone. You don't want it to be complicated. We're not talking about a rodeo belt buckle here. We're talking about a very simple but interesting belt buckle. I'll definitely link for you the belt that I'm wearing here, of course, and a few more down below that I would highly recommend. Always a worthy investment. My goal in February really is to help you and the readers at my blog to plan our spring wardrobes carefully and strategically so that we don't overspend and we don't have regretful purchases later in the season. So I encourage you to watch the video from a couple of weeks ago if you haven't, and check out my website too. I'm providing a lot of blog posts right now to help you prepare for your spring wardrobe. Whether you're shopping now or you're putting it off a little while, now is the time to plan your spring wardrobe. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you'll join me down in the comments and answer my question. I'd like to know, are you a hunter or are you a gatherer? Do you tend to hunt doggedly for that one piece that you know exactly what you want? Or do you like to gather things as you go, browsing the websites, walking through the stores, choosing the things that strike your fancy? Either way, it's a good idea to have a strategy and to know what you're looking for. I hope this list of elevated basics that I suggest adding to your wardrobe has been helpful to you today. Thanks so much for joining me, ladies, and I look forward to seeing you again next Wednesday. Bye now.